Imagine you hire a plumber to fix a leak in your roof, but instead of grabbing a wrench, they spend the whole afternoon standing in your garden yelling through a megaphone about national border security. You'd probably wonder why you hired them. That is basically what happens when we misunderstand local elections. In May 2026, voters across the UK didn't participate in a standard political contest. We effectively acted as the hiring managers for a massive recruitment drive, handing out jobs to over 5,000 new local councillors. If you followed the news, you probably saw a lot of loud headlines about this. The media focused heavily on the newest, most vocal groups entering the workforce, showing them celebrating big wins on stage. But look at this chart breaking down the actual jobs handed out in 2026. When you map out the mathematical reality of all those newly elected seats, the picture looks a lot quieter. Labor remained the largest operational department by a wide margin. That vocal minority party dominating the news, they secured just 11% of available jobs. But what didn't make headlines were the huge numbers of independent and centrist workers who quietly took on these roles. Getting the most votes is really just passing the job interview. The actual measure of success is whether these new hires show up on Monday morning, put on their hard hats, and do the work they were hired to do. We have to be clear about what that work is. A local councillor has zero authority to fix national defense, rewrite immigration policy, or change your income tax rates. Those tasks belong to completely different departments in government. Their actual job description is much closer to home. They are responsible for making sure your local parks are maintained, overseeing the refuse collection, repairing the potholes in your roads, and managing the budgets for adult social care. So how do you know if your new employee is actually doing any of that? You can check their time card. Websites like localdemocracy.uk and your local council's page track their exact meeting attendance, along with a register of their outside financial interests. This bar chart compares the estimated annual turnover rates among different political groups. You can see a distinct pattern. Newer political parties historically see about an 11.5% rate of absenteeism, resignations, or defections early in their terms, compared to roughly 3% for more established parties. If we aren't actively monitoring these attendance records and financial interests, we are blindly paying the salaries of absentee employees who aren't delivering the local services we rely on. Every workplace has an HR department, and local government is no different. If your representative is failing to deliver or breaking the rules, there is a specific escalation ladder you can climb. Step 1 is filing a formal complaint with your council's monitoring officer. This is the internal official whose entire job is to ensure councillors follow the rules of conduct. If the council brushes you off and refuses to act, you move to Step 2. You can escalate your complaint to the local government and social care ombudsman, an independent body that investigates whether the council followed its own procedures. Step 3 involves confronting the employee directly. During public question time at council meetings, you have the right to stand up in front of them, put your issue on the record, and force them to answer for their actions. Climbing this ladder can result in official apologies, formal public rebukes, or having the councillor removed from specific committees. But it exposes a massive flaw in the system. The council itself legally cannot fire a bad councillor. Short of a serious criminal conviction or failing to show up for 6 straight months, there is only one entity with the legal power to terminate a local councillor's contract: you. The upcoming May 2027 local elections are a mandatory nationwide performance review for our government workforce. This graphic shows 2 visual clusters. On the left, the 2026 hiring wave, involving roughly 5,000 seats. Now look at 2027. Because of delayed voting and scheduled cycles, this expands to over 10,000 contracts up for renewal, completely dwarfing the previous year. Between now and May 2027, audit your local representatives, track their promises, review their attendance, and prepare to issue termination notices at the ballot box. Ultimately, democracy is a continuous employer contract. It only functions properly when we actively manage the people we hire, and when we remember that we are the ones in charge.